I am extremely concerned about the Cavs. Number one, Garland in that situation. And number two, defensively, you talk about one of the best teams defensively in the league. I mean, they just look uninterested in this game. I mean, for 19 threes to be made on 54% shooting, with all the narratives that have been looming around Cleveland throughout the entire year, I better see a different Cleveland team in game two. And I know they had a good layoff, and sometimes that layoff can disrupt your rhythm and how you're prepared for that game. But still, that's no excuses. I saw lazy defense. Donovan Mitchell, I think he is a superstar in this league. 33 points on 30 shots. You had two players that took 50 of their 98 shots, Greeny. The second player was Ty Jerome. So, look, not showing up offensively, but defensively not being locked in. That was one of the most disappointing efforts that I've seen in the game one.
You serious?
Pump the brakes, Jay Williams. Wow, that take reeked of a man who sounded like he was more than ready to go off on Kenny Atkinson and the Cavs at any given moment. This is Sports Guy talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Jay Williams blasting the Cavs for not giving any effort. After the Pacers beat the Cavs in Game 1, Jay Williams went on to get up yesterday and put the Cavs into shreds. Obviously, Jay Williams spewing out that take has now raised questions about how far the Cavs will be able to advance in the NBA playoffs this season. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So, here it is. Is it time to panic for the Cavaliers in this series against the Pacers? Of course not. That would be a stupid answer to say yes to that. The Cavaliers do not need to be panicking at all in this series against the Pacers. Now, granted, if they lose tonight against the Pacers, then I change my answer and say yes, they need to go ahead and panic, because that would mean that they would be down 0-2 with 2 road games at Indiana. I know some people thought that the Cavs were going to go ahead and sweep the Indiana Pacers, but let me remind you that Rick Carlisle is an elite head coach and that his coaching skills were going to be put on full display. We all know Rick Carlisle is one of the best coaches in the National Basketball Association. We all knew Rick Carlisle was going to have something up his sleeve, and obviously he came out there and coached his team into having a good game plan. Shout out to Tyrese Haliburton for getting his teammates involved on offense. He is seriously one of the more underrated players in the National Basketball Association. Yes, I know the players voted Tyrese Haliburton as the most overrated player in the NBA, but I do not even come close to agreeing with that statement. Tyrese Haliburton impacts the game of basketball in so many different ways. I don't even really recall Tyrese Haliburton being talked about on ESPN as one of the best point guards in basketball. Obviously, I don't agree with the statement that Tyrese Haliburton is the best point guard in basketball, but when we talk about elite basketball point guards, we never talk about Tyrese Haliburton in there. He should be in the conversation for that. But back on topic with the Cleveland Cavaliers. When you watch this team play, there's a reason why they won over 60 games. It was not an accident that the Cavaliers ended up having the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, and that's because their team cohesion is at an elite level. For Jay Williams to sit up there and act like the series is over after one game, he needs to take a chill pill and remind himself, why is he saying this? Do you actually believe what you're saying, or are you saying this because you're working for ESPN? We know the Pacers are well coached. We know that the Pacers are going to not beat themselves with mistakes, but we all know that the Cavaliers are the better team on paper. You look at Evan Mobley, you look at Jarrett Allen, those are some pretty elite players in the front court. They're going to get rebounds at a high level. I know that they're banged up right now, but they're going to play basketball at a high level. You also look at the fact how Darius Garland, he's supposed to be back in this series sooner rather than later. That's going to be another weapon for the Cavs on offense. And of course, you can't forget about Donovan Mitchell, who is seriously one of the most underrated players in basketball. Donovan Mitchell needs to be getting more national media recognition because the man is an absolute baller. DeAndre Hunter is underrated as well, and Isaac Okoro is a solid defender. This Cavs team has a lot of solid players on their roster. They don't have a lot of big names, but they fit really well with each other. Ty Jerome is also an underrated player as well. I know he didn't have a great game one, but Ty Jerome is certainly one of the better players off the bench. We got to spread some love to Ty Jerome's game. I also want to show you guys this clip of Rick Carlisle talking about his takeaways from game one of the Pacers-Cavs series. Obviously, he did a great job coaching the Pacers into a game one victory, but he is telling everyone to not let up and that they need to focus on playing better in certain areas. That is the correct response to have. Roll the film.
We got to be in attack mode to have a chance to beat this team. And so, in those situations, we just encourage our guys to play free and let it ride. So. And then as far as, we were able to get enough stops at key times, that was really important. The rebounding is a concern, obviously, in the turnovers. So we got to do better there, and we'll look at the film.
You are correct, sir. Yes!
That's the real takeaway most sports fans should be having from watching the Pacers-Cavs Game 1 matchup. We all knew that the Pacers outshot the Cavs because they were just red hot from three, and I understand that the Pacers have a really good offense. They're underrated in that aspect. I think more people need to be talking about them in the national media, but I said before the series started that it was going to go 6 games. A lot of people were telling me, why did I have the Cavs in 6? Well, that's because I know that Rick Carlisle is an elite basketball head coach. He needs to be given a lot of credit for how the Pacers have been able to be one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. They don't have a lot of superstars on paper, but they're well coached, and in a way, they're kind of like the poor man's version of the Cavaliers in the sense that they are well coached and that they have a strong unit that plays well with each other. We all know that the Cavaliers are the better team, though. They won over 60 games for a reason. They're going to get back on track in game 2. They're probably going to dominate the Pacers. It's going to be 1-1 heading back into Indiana, and if you're the Cavaliers, you have got to figure out a way how to get a split at Indiana, because we know that Indiana is one of the hardest places to play for an opponent. We know that the Pacers have incredible home court advantage. Their crowd is really effective in aiding the home team. We know that the Pacers can also get red hot from three, but I do not see the Pacers continuing to shoot from over 50% at the three-point line. It's just not sustainable. Not even the greatest shooting team could do that over the course of a 7-game series. Now, if that does happen, then tip off your hat to the Pacers. But outside of that happening, I really don't see how the Cavs are going to lose the series to the Pacers. They rebound better than them. They score the basketball more effectively than they do. They also play well as a unit together. And everything the Pacers do, the Cavs do it at a higher level on most nights. Donovan Mitchell is going to have to be great. But you know what? Donovan Mitchell has been great all year long. And I'm not going to overreact to one basketball game. Jay Williams is going to choose to overreact. That's fine. I don't agree with Jay Williams on that front. He can be an absolute fool and overreact. Let's just see how the series is going to play out, though. I still got the Cavs winning this series in 6 games. We all know that the Pacers were going to be a hard out, but ultimately, though, when you just compare the talent level between these two teams, it's night and day. The Cavs have the better roster. I'm not Kendrick Perkins and going to say that Isaac Okoro is the worst basketball player in the world, but obviously I expect more from Isaac Okoro moving forward, especially on the offensive end of the floor. I need to see the role players for Cleveland step up. We all know that if the role players play within their level of their abilities, they're going to win this series in 6 games. Believe it, Cleveland's going back to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since the 2018 NBA season. I'm a believer in Kenny Atkinson, and it's time that the Cavs win Game 2, so that way the mainstream media does not have to continue hating on the Cavs the way that they have been all season long. That's okay, though, because I fully expect the Cavs to go back and win Game 2. So that is why it is not time to panic for the Cavaliers in this series against the Pacers, as I will expect the Cavs to beat the Pacers in 6 games. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking. Like the video and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That will be for the @DustinNasTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinNasTran and at Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinNasTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.